is this the time that my echo isn't going to be okay? Is this the time when they tell me like your right heart is grossly enlarged? Like, is this the time when I have to have a port and have IV medication? Hi guys, everybody. It is a rainy Friday here in South Florida, and we're expecting it to continue on with this rain throughout the weekend. And just to my luck, the boys are off today, so we didn't get to do very much. We just went to Target and did our usual. So anyways, I wanted to make this video yesterday, but no, not yesterday, the day before. I don't know, maybe yesterday, I don't know, sometime in the last couple of days, but I didn't have my camera, and it was just, I was too busy yesterday whenever this happened to grab my camera. So, but I did want to share with you guys, because it's been a long time since I've actually shared something with you about pulmonary hypertension. So earlier this week I went and had my well woman exam. Everybody knows how fun that is, right? And I remember when I was there that my pulmonologist, who manages my pH, wanted me to have an echocardiogram. And before I get too far off topic, for those of you that don't know what pH is, I'm going to link something up here so you can kind of see. It's a really quick video. Google it if you want. It's called pulmonary hypertension, just so that you can kind of know what I'm talking about. So anyways, yesterday morning I had my echo done, and I go into the ultrasound room because it's just a sonogram basically of your heart, and they can measure like your pulmonary pressures and everything. And mind you, it's not an exact depiction of what your pressures are. Nothing can truly tell you exactly what your pressures are without a right heart catheterization. So this is just kind of like a guesstimate, which can be off by, gosh, it can be up to like 20-30 points. So it's just a guesstimate. Really, it's not to test my pressures, it's just to see how my heart is doing with the pressure. So with pulmonary hypertension, they treat the symptoms, and they treat basically like your heart more than they treat the pressure. So like hypothetically, my pressures could be like 100 something, and as long as I was not symptomatic, so meaning not having shortness of breath, not having any of that, and my heart was not enlarged, then it wouldn't matter, because my pressures were so high, it wouldn't matter. But then, you know, if my pressures were, which normal is, I believe it's under 20, so anything above 20 is pulmonary hypertension. I think that's right. So you could have like 21, your pressure could be 21, and you could have technically pulmonary hypertension, and you could be completely out of breath, and your right heart could be enlarged, and you would be actually, you know, more at risk for heart failure in that category than you would if your pressure was 100 and you weren't symptomatic and your right heart was not enlarged at all. So I go for these checkups like they want me to do them every 6 months, but I usually do them like every year because I get lazy. I know, I'm a bad patient. But I had it done yesterday, and of course when I go in, the tech is like, have you ever had a heart cath, or have you ever had a echo? Yes, I've had several echoes. Why do you have pulmonary hypertension? I have pulmonary hypertension because I don't know why, because I just have it, okay? And then she starts telling me, like, this is where I start getting kind of like agitated, and like this is, and I shouldn't, but she's like, oh, you have hypertension. I then corrected her and said, no, I have pulmonary hypertension. It's not the same thing. And then she said, starts going through like my med list or whatever, and I start giving her like all these crazy names of drugs that people have really never heard of, like Circup, Travi, Literis, all those things. Like people are like, I don't even know how to spell that. So she acted like she knew, but then as she was saying that, she's like, oh, I'm sure you're on some kind of blood pressure medicine. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not on any blood pressure medication. My systemic blood pressure is fine. It's my pulmonary pressures that are high. So I corrected her several times. And so she's starting to do like the echo on my chest, and she's like pushing really hard, which I understand, like you need to push really hard on there. But anyway, she's like pushing hard on there. She's like asking me these questions like, oh, when they did your heart catheterization, did they see if you had any blockages? And I was like, yes, and I did not have any. And then she started asking me like what my pressures were previous in my echo. And then I told her, and then she said something like, oh, at least they have gone down. And I was like, oh. She's like, yeah, they've around 30. I was like, oh, okay, like assuming that's what they were or whatever. And she was like, oh no, I'm not telling you that because I can't tell you what your pressures are right now. And I was like, whatever, I don't give a shit what my pressures are, lady. I don't care. All I care about is my heart. So anyways, again, I corrected her a couple more times about pulmonary hypertension, and like I was just kind of ready to get out of there. I was exhausted. I get annoyed because I'm like, I really like to teach people, but then it's also kind of hard when somebody thinks that they already know everything. So whatever, you do you, lady. So then I was on my way home, and this song, like, I don't know if you've heard it before, but I think it's by Joe Nichols. It's a country song called The Impossible. And then I started listening to it, and I started like getting upset, like not upset, but just like kind of like, you know, every time you go in for an echo and you have pulmonary hypertension, you think to yourself like, is this the time that my echo isn't going to be okay? Is this the time when they tell me like your right heart is grossly enlarged? Like, is this the time when I have to have a port and have IV medications? Like, everything goes through your mind. And so I'm just like, I just start like tearing up, and I was like, what am I gonna, one day that day is gonna come for me. Like, it's just, it's not really like an option. Like, it's inevitable that it's going to happen. It's not if, it's when it's gonna happen. Eventually my medication is gonna stop working. I just hope and pray like every echo that I get is like basically like borrowed time. And I hate to be like morbid about that, but I mean, let's be real, this is a very progressive disease that is very deadly. And this year alone, I mean, if you guys again haven't watched the pH video from this year that I made, like, there's been so many people that have passed away from this. And young people, you guys, young people, not the people that you would think are like in the nursing homes and like get sick and they die. No, these are young people that were literally up and about going to family functions, and then 2 days later they were dead. And so it's just like, I'm doing fine now, right? I'm doing fine, but it's like, when is that day gonna come? Like, that day could just come upon me and like sneak up and like grab me, and like you have no control over that. Like, I don't know, like, it's, nothing's impossible, you know, like nothing is impossible. A lot of people take for granted like their good health, and it's like, it's sad to me. Like, you should always be so thankful for your health. Every night when I go to bed, I pray, I'm like, thank you so much, Lord, for giving me, you know, this extra time. Thank you for allowing me to be able to be a mother to my children like I want to be. Thank you for allowing me to be a mother to this new baby who's coming. Like, thank you so much for my health. And I just can't, I don't know, I guess a lot of people just don't understand until they're faced with that reality, like, you don't have your health anymore. So yeah, that kind of upset me yesterday. And mind you, I've had so many echoes before, and that has never bothered me, not once. And just for some reason, yesterday, it really bothered me. And I don't know, maybe it was just like the way the lady was saying, like, I couldn't read her words, you know, I couldn't depict if she was like saying like something was wrong, or if she was just being like, I don't know, anything. So it was just really hard. And yeah, you just don't know how long you have. Nobody knows how long they're gonna have. And this disease especially is just very terrifying, because, you know, I like to explain to people like, oh, you're short of breath, but it really is. Like, I mean, sorry if you can hear the kids in the background. It really is. Like, somebody came up a couple of years ago, and I think I've told you guys this before too, but like, hold your nose and get a straw and only breathe in and out of that straw and walk up and down your stairs like 20 times. That's how it feels like to have pulmonary hypertension every single minute of every single day. A lot of people just can't wrap their minds around, like, that's what it feels like for me every single day. Like, yes, my symptoms are more managed now than they were before, but I still have my moments where I'm exhausted. Like, I'm tired, and I feel like people sometimes think, oh, you're just lazy. Like, you just don't want to get out of here. You don't want to do things or whatever. No, that's not the case. Like, I would love to get out of my house. It's like, I just physically don't have that go, you know? So, I don't know. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know that lots of you out there don't completely understand, and a lot of you are trying to understand how this feels, but that's how it feels on this side. And so, yeah, a lot of things just go through your mind, you know, a lot of different things, and nobody knows. Nobody knows. So I'm just gonna keep on keeping on and being grateful for every day that I have. And yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go because the kids are running amok over here. So go ahead and like this video if you learned something today, or you want to spread the awareness of pulmonary hypertension. Go ahead and comment below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell beside the subscribe button so that you guys can get alerts every time that I upload a crazy video about something crazy that's happened. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.